Hey my friends, welcome back to another week in the life. The purpose of these videos is to show you exactly what my method is to bring in a consistent income every single week as a full-time trader. We do this by selling options. I'll walk you through exactly how to do that, what it looks like, what I'm looking at here on the markets. And I'm sitting in front of the computer right now just planning out Monday's trade. So just watching these charts here, picking out some big levels. At this point right now, if we start getting below this 663 level on SPY, it is gonna absolutely tank. So bulls came in really strong on Friday. It looks good that the bulls will continue. So if I do start getting some bull sentiment, especially here like on an hourly time frame, if this can continue to move higher, I like the close up above some of these lower highs. Let's see, 2 hour here is what I'm looking at. It's still pretty bearish on a 2 hour, but that is some pretty strong buying here. So if this does follow through, it looks like a bull put spreads in order for Monday to continue to go up a little bit more. We'll see. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we do get ourselves a Santa rally for the rest of November, December, and we start pushing up higher. But at any point, we start taking out these lows around 661, it is going to be pretty rough. So again, it is Saturday. We're getting Christmas set up here in the Pollock household. So I absolutely love this time of the year. My wife is an amazing interior design. She's the one that does all of this stuff here. So join me this week here, my friends. It's going to be a really fun trading week. Walk you through exactly how I've replaced my income and trade full time now. This is a simple strategy, and the goal of this is just $200 a week, but you can scale this to thousands and thousands of dollars every week. But right now, what I want to do is help you see how possible it is to make $800 a month with this system, with this strategy, and then we can grow it from there. So join me this week for our $200 a week challenge strategy. Let's dive on in. It's going to be a great week. Off to trading. Good morning. It's about 5 a.m. here Monday morning. I always go out and jump in the hot tub just to wake myself up before I kind of get started for the day. So that's what I'm about to do here. So go enjoy the cold and just get my mind right, because the most important thing in trading is your mindset. Your P&L is directly related to your emotional control. So if I don't have myself in the right mindset and I wake up and I'm all emotional and I check the charts, I kind of see what's going on and I start freaking out and start thinking about what's happening, what's not working, what is working, it never really works out. For me, I need to get myself into the right place where I can see the big picture and let go of all the short-term stuff. So that's what I'm doing here. That's what I normally do here in the hot tub, is just get myself into the right mindset. Then I look at the charts and start planning for the day when I'm thinking clearly and seeing what the charts are actually doing instead of what I'm scared they're going to do or what I want them to do. See what the charts are actually doing. It helps me get in the right mindset. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm freezing cold right now. Let's jump in this hot tub and let's take a look at the charts. So let me walk you through a little bit about what I do to catch my emotions, because the key is to catch them before they come into your trading. That's what's going to change everything. So what I do is I start asking myself some certain questions, start putting myself in certain situations. I ask myself, what am I scared of? And right now, there are some pretty big uncertainties out there in the markets with the massive drops that have come over the end of last week. They got bought up pretty hard, but we are still underneath a certain level that I'll watch here. Maybe I can show you in the charts here in a second. That is a little bit concerning to me, where there's a very good chance it's going to roll over. So what I'm scared of here is being on the wrong side of a credit spread for a potential large mover this week. There should be some pretty big volatility coming in this week since news is most likely coming out. So then I have to start working through that. First off, is there any truth to that fear, right? Am I just making this up? Am I assuming things that aren't there? Once I get past that question, then I start looking at, okay, what is the worst case scenario? So let's say we do get caught into a big mover that goes against us this week. Now I start working through what's the actual truth. Like, my brain is trying to throw out all the fears, but all I have to do is counteract that with truth. Because most of the time your emotions in trading, they're stemming from just a lack of a plan or a lack of knowledge of what to do. There's a big question mark, and that void is usually filled with emotions. So it's my job now to start catching those voids and start putting answers behind them. Say, okay, so if it does go heavy against us, what would I do? How would I work my way out of this? What are the scenarios there? If I can read strength for the first 2 hours of the day, that's going to give me a pretty good idea of which way to go now. And so hopefully I'll be on the right side of that big move and be able to win easily, right? A big move also means, hey, we could potentially win very, very easy on a credit spread like last week. That was a really easy credit spread win. And so start putting truth behind these big question marks, behind these voids, and it's not so scary, then those emotions start to go away. So that's what I've got going on right now in my brain as I'm just working through my processes of getting rid of those emotions, getting rid of the fears,
and start working my way back towards the truth, start working my way back towards a realistic game plan that's going to give me realistic results right now. Because scared money never makes money. You've got to change that scenario, and you got to start putting a plan behind every scenario. Instead of only looking at what you want, I'm starting to plan out what happens if it goes against me. What can I do to avoid this? What can I do to do this? Worst case scenario, I don't take a trade, right? I could just do that. If there's not a setup that I'm liking, I just don't take a trade this week. And you know what? That's okay. We made extra money last week. I'm okay just sitting this one out a little bit, right? Like I could do that worst case scenario. So building out a game plan that's going to allow me to replace those fears and those uncertainties with a game plan. That's going to be the key to help overcome those emotions. So it's not like you just outwill yourself. No, you start filling in those voids. That's what's causing those emotions. Find the root cause, and you're going to start to overcome your emotions in trading, because you're not going to have them once you realize why they're coming. Once they're coming in, you find that out, you fix that, they go away pretty easily. And then you can start seeing things for what they are. And that's the key to start getting some more success in trading. Seeing things for what they actually are instead of what you're scared is going to happen or what you want to have happen. Get yourself into that place, and you're going to start making a lot more consistent money. So I'm going to finish things up here in the hot tub, finish out my little meditation session, and then head back in and get myself ready for the day, work on some real life trading projects that I have coming up, and yeah, get ready to rock and roll and get ready for the market open. So leave you here on that one. See you in a bit.
Welcome to the live trade setup here. This is an interesting week, and so I'm excited to go over this with you and walk you through why I did what I did and what the game plan would be if it goes against us, etc. So we've got a lot of volatility this week. There's a ton out there. Hey, good morning, everybody. There's a lot of volatility out there. There's a lot of news coming out since the government's reopened. They're going to be hitting us with a lot of news, especially on inflation, which is going to be moving the markets. And then we've also got quite a bit of just overall, again, earnings coming out. NVIDIA, really going to be a big one. Walmart, somewhat big, but NVIDIA is going to be the big one coming out this week as well. And so volatility is really scooting high right now. And we went ahead. I just got filled on a 64.65 bull put spread here. So sold the 64.65, bought the 64.55. We are bullish here on a 2-hour time frame. It's not looking extremely strong, but there's a good chance that we will just chop sideways to bullish. I do think that there's a chance that we're going to come all the way back down into like 69.90 today, which is that daily. Just got filled on a credit spread. Just got done with a live session, setting that up with the whole community. Let's dive in and show you what I did. All right, so on this little bit of a dip here, we sold this bull put spread down here. So we sold the 64.65 and bought the 64.55 that expired this Friday. So we win as long as it stays above this level. The technical value of these options down here out of the money is 0. The only reason they have any money on them at all is hope, right? So I'm drawing this with my mouse here, sorry. The hope factor that it'll actually get down there. So every single second that it's not dropping, the value of these options are going lower because they need to be able to get down below this level in order for it to actually be worth anything. And so price action was telling us there's a good chance that we'll go sideways to a little bit bullish this week. So we sold the bull put spread down here. If we're wrong and it starts to rotate down, which very well could happen this week, there's a lot of crazy news Wednesday, Thursday. Hopefully we're out of this trade before then. Then we'll have a game plan to mitigate risk and work our way out of this position. But so far right now, if this can bounce up into this range here, we'll be able to exit out of this today, get out of it, enjoy our week, and see how it happens on this news come Thursday, because things are getting a little bit wild and crazy here. But that's the credit spread that we sold, again, all the way down here. So we have a huge cushion to be wrong. This thing can go up, it can go sideways, it can even go down, and we will still win as long as it stays above this level. So that's the game plan at the moment. It makes trading so much easier because we no longer have to worry about the direction. We just need to stack up probabilities on our side and sell the correct credit spreads at the right locations at the right time. And that's what we go over and teach every single Monday in the live session whenever we're setting this up. There you have it. That's the trade that we're in. I'll keep you in the loop on exactly how this thing plays out. If these markets can bounce strong and continue to hold strong, we should be out of this by this afternoon, if not tomorrow morning. But volatility is building. Honestly, this is not the greatest week in the world to do these weekly credit spreads because of the amount of news coming out. Whenever volatility is increasing, it's holding the value of those options out of the money a little bit more than it normally would. So it's harder to win on a little bit. We have to rely a lot more on the movement of price, delta, a little bit more than we are theta, which is that time decay. So Still took a credit spread because I do them every single week. But if it was just up to me, I probably would have passed on this week. Hopefully we do get that bounce. Hopefully the spread can still win. And we can get ourselves out of this real quick, in and out before the news hits Wednesday, Thursday. So that's the game plan. Off to go work out, spend some time with family, and then answer a couple questions here in the community. And then I'll circle back around here later on this afternoon, most likely give you an update on where this trade's at and how we close for the day, where the P&L is, and yeah, give you an update then when that time comes. See you guys. All right, so it's at the end of the day here, and the markets just are not finding any bulls at all. So our spread's still all the way down here. We should be safe this week. We took out this low and got bought up. Bulls really need to hold. If we can get a bounce back up into like 67.40, we should be in a good place. But this is not looking very strong. This yellow line here is kind of like my first standard deviation zone where I want to have it pay attention to, and it broke down below that already and closed below it. So we're kind of into that warning zone where that means I'm no longer trying to make the most money out of this unless I get a strong gap up tomorrow, which I doubt. Like I said earlier, there's so much news. There's so much volatility. I do like the fact that we took out this low and then got bought up. But the door is now open for this thing to sink all the way down to 65.40. Again, our spread's much lower than that. But still, it's looking like it wants to go a lot lower. I'll probably start day trading this with some puts down here to offset some of that risk. But not looking all that great. At the same time, we just put in a pretty good bear trap that got bought up. This level really needs to hold. If it can hold for another day or so, we'll win on this spread. But if we can get a strong move up, this will squeeze a lot of bears out with it breaking below this. Honestly, though, we take out this level, I would say 65.60 is like coming within a day. So I'll day trade that and make some money down on that, but it's not looking super bullish at the moment. We needed some sidewaysness to bullishness to really be able to win on this quickly. I still believe that we should be fine unless Armageddon happens, which could happen. And if that's the case, we've got a game plan. But really, my game plan is not going to come into play until we interact with this 65-60 range, and then we'll go from there. First step, though, bulls need to hold this level. If we can hold it tomorrow, we should be in a pretty good place to be able to get out of this. Volatility is building. It's just making it really hard to win on these spreads. We'll see how it plays out. But that's the update here after this afternoon. Again, just not finding any type of bulls, but if we can have some bullish moves tomorrow, we should be able to get out of this, and most likely I'm going to take profits at like 30 cents, make what I can, and just get out. It's very much the same as last week. It's just so volatile right now. The markets are normally not this. I mean, we'll get like a handful of 3% pullbacks on the markets a year. We've gotten a 3% pullback every week this month pretty much. It's been wild. So that's what we get at all-time highs. It probably is opening the door for a big drop, which I believe is going to happen here at some point, but very well could be making a new all-time high first, and then the thing starts to crumble. So let's just see if this is shaking bears out. It's at a really good buying zone. We'll find out if this bounces tomorrow. Keep you in the loop. All right, my friends, it's here. It took forever to get here, but I wanted to celebrate this day with you all because it's because of you that we have this. This community on real life trading has been built for over 10 years. We hit over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. My friends, there's over like 245 million YouTube channels on YouTube. Less than 1% will ever hit the 100,000 subscriber mark. So it's an honor. It's really for the entire real life trading team, Jeremy Newsom, everyone for all the years that has built this channel. And it's just been so cool to be a part of. And the thousands and thousands of people that we've helped along the way. Thank you all for your trust, for your love, and for your support. It means the world to us. Over the years, we've been known for being the trustworthy, honest, reliable stock market education. We give away the majority of our stuff for free. You can check out the links for free courses, strategies, all that fun stuff, because we want to truly help you succeed. And so I wanted to open this up here with you all and share this moment with you. So just foam pad. And then here's the plaque. We have it, my friends. Wow, that is really cool. Can't. Oh man, I never dreamed this big, my friends. That is so awesome. Real life trading, passing 100,000 subscribers. This is just the start, my friends. We have so much more to come, but I wanted to share this moment with you. This is just came from the mail. Open it up. Surreal. This is just the start. We've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands more people we're going to help in their lives and trading, and Thank you for all your support and for supporting our mission of just truly wanting to help you succeed in trading and start seeing those consistent returns, those consistent profits, get that success and change your life. That is our mission here in real life trading, is to change the middle class. Show how easy it can be to press a button and replace your salary. So thank you all for your love and support. This is amazing. It is now Tuesday morning here, and we had a decent gap down, a big run down back into this support area, and now it's getting bought back up. So again, it's another week in a row. Volatility is insane. I mean, the fact that we've made it to the weekly expected move by Tuesday, and we did this exact same thing last week, is pretty wild. But we've sold our spread all the way down here. And so it's still miles away from our credit spread, and we are finally starting to see some bulls. So if the bulls can just bounce this up for today or tomorrow, get a little bit higher, depending on where we go today, we should be able to win on this today. But that's the nice thing about this strategy is, again, we were just completely wrong for the second week in a row. Last week made money. This week looks like there's a very good chance that we are going to make money on this. There is still a chance it's going to rotate back down. And if we start getting back below the 65, 64, then great. I will just roll the credit spread down some more. We'll get a little bit of a bounce and be able to win on that next week. And so that's going to be the game plan on this. So far, I do believe the low of the week should be in. And there's a very good chance that we're working up into like 66.80 to 67.20 range, somewhere up through here through the rest of this week if the bulls continue to follow through. So that's the update so far right now. It does kind of look like SPY and the SPX are putting in like a left shoulder ahead, and now we're working on probably a right shoulder. So back up into this range, it might be extremely bearish and potentially rotate back over here. But lots of weakness out there, but the bulls are stepping back in. This could be a pretty good trap that leads to some massive bull moves potentially. We'll wait and see how that all plays out. The day is not over with yet. This could easily just rotate back down, but this is looking pretty strong for the bulls at the moment. Let's see if they can work their way back into their profit-taking zones here. So we navigated this spread correctly. Again, the key to trading, my friends, is just to manage your emotions. If you freak out when this thing moves lower and you start to just panic and you've got to make money and you're scared and you get out of it for a loss, remember, you're not losing on this until it gets below your sold strike. So even though your P&L's down for today, if it were to stay here for 2 more days, you would win. You'd go from negative P&L to positive P&L without this even moving because you're still winning on this credit spread. I was very close to adding some more contracts down here. It didn't quite make it to my alert, that green line where I wanted it. It got very close. That would have been nice if I had added some more here. That would have been a pretty nice win, and our break even would have been much lower. But again, we didn't get that opportunity. That's okay. Whenever I add to these, I've had a few people ask me, like, Tony, isn't that just adding to a losing position? Well, on a credit spread, it's different. You've got to think different. It's not like your longs, right? It's not like we bought calls up here and we're losing and adding some more. These credit spreads, this is winning. As long as it is well above my sold strike and well within the expected move of the week, I can add a few more contracts because this is still a winning position. Even though right now my P&L might be down, if it, again, were to just stay here, it'd be winning. It would win. And so I view things a little bit differently. It drastically moves my dollar cost average, and it really doesn't add that much more risk by adding a couple more contracts on this because I'm going to end up rolling this thing out anyways. So it's kind of a good way to be able to just avoid the loss altogether. Adding has always been a really beneficial strategy. It has worked for me the majority of times, and the times that it doesn't, I end up just rolling the spread, and it's not that big of a deal anyway. So that's kind of where we're at. A little bit of a update here. Of course, we are getting through some of our important levels, but we're getting back into it. This is a lot lower than I would have liked the spread to go to. But as long as we can keep holding sideways or go a little bit bullish, it's just a matter of time now. We'll probably end up winning on this tomorrow and get out of this by Wednesday and then enjoy the rest of our week here. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment right now, my friends. Just want to give you an update on this and how I'm managing this spread. A lot of the times it's just doing nothing. And that's what makes this such a great strategy for those at work or, you know, that don't want to be in front of the computer, is that we really don't have to do anything unless it makes a crazy, crazy move. And even when it makes that crazy move, it still hasn't triggered through our hedge areas yet or our roll areas yet. So the only thing I was looking at doing was adding more. It just didn't quite make it down there. So that's where we're at. Again, it is possible that it's still going to rotate over later on this week. Very likely, possible. But all we need this to do is just kind of work its way back into this range, and we are going to win on this, no problem. So that's the game plan for now. I'll keep you updated throughout this day on how it exactly plays out. All right, it is the next day. It is Wednesday here, and markets are finally running. So I think back up into this 50 EMA, potentially even back up into 6720 would be the play. It just missed my area to add to credit spreads yesterday. That would have made it profitable right now, and I could be getting out of it. Currently, it's sitting around 70 cents. I got filled at this at 60 cents. We're almost a break even. I'm probably going to go ahead and be closing this out very, very soon. If this can get a little bit higher, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. There is still a pretty good chance that this is going to rotate back down. And the main thing is that we have NVIDIA earnings and a ton of government news coming on today, which could easily cause a gap down and then cause this to get a little bit wrecked. So we've been wrong on this from day one. If I would have added a little bit here, we would have won. But because I didn't add to this credit spread, I can get out of this for break even, and I'm probably just going to go ahead and take it. So it's been a wild week. We were able to hold on to this, and it's looking pretty good. Again, most likely going to exit this for break even and move on just because price action is just not in my favor. There is a chance that we could get back up to the 67.20, which would make this spread win, but we're getting late in the week. We've been wrong on it all week long. I'm happy to just escape out of here with break even whenever it's just not going our direction. So getting ready to get filled on this trade right now. It is 5 cents away from our target here at 60 cents. And once that hits, then I'll just be out and I'll just go enjoy my week. I'm not going to make anything. I'm going to pay a little bit on commissions. But again, whenever the markets went strong against us, this trade, it's easy to be able to mitigate risk. We could hold this for another day or so and win on it. It's just not worth it because of the news. So if we didn't have all the news here that could affect this, I'm not going to play around with it. I'm not going to be holding on to this and hoping that it just doesn't gap down big, because I still believe that we could get down a lot lower this week. And even though my spread's all the way down here, it's very safe. I am always very conservative with credit spreads. If this just hasn't worked all week long, I'm totally fine to get out for break even. So we'll take that. We'll move on. It's very, very close to hitting that right now. Again, we're about 5 cents off of it at the moment. So if we can go a little bit higher, we should be able to get filled on this and get the heck out of it. And we'll come to play again another time. Just got filled on that credit spread for 0.60, got out for break even, paid a little bit on commissions, but this one was just a net zero. We've been wrong since day one. Yes, I could hold on to this, but again, with the news of NVIDIA earnings, with all the different economic news that's coming out, I'm just not going to play this game. So going to exit for break even. I'm always a lot more risk averse when it comes to credit spreads. Yes, NVIDIA could gap up, probably does. I'm just not going to take the chance. Again, when I'm wrong on these credit spreads, it went way past my caution levels, went all the way to a weekly expected move. It's not working, and I get a chance to get out of this for break even this late in the week, I take it. So our spread's still a mile away. To me, it's just not worth it. So here's the results here. Ended up getting out of here for a net zero this week. It is what it is. Paid some commissions, but we're still alive, and that's the name of the game. Whenever we are dead wrong on these credit spreads, normally I win. I can add some more down there. I just missed my add point. That would have made us $300 so far this week if I would have just added a couple more contracts. It didn't make it down to where I wanted to add. So I'm happy with the break even. We're just going to move on and play again next week. So that's where we're at. Here's the journal update over the last little bit on these trades. You guys can all see that. And I'm filled. I'm all out of it. Happy to escape out of here and go enjoy the rest of my week, my friends. Off to go have some lunch with family. And yeah, just enjoy some time with them. Again, I will have a chance to make things back next week. And then I've also got some swing trades working in the background to keep making some extra money that way too. So live and learn another day. That's all we got to do is just keep playing the game. When we're wrong, if we get a chance for break even after we've been wrong for the entire week without really much bulls coming through, I'm solid to just get out for break even and play it again another time.